Yeah, the highest court has dismissed our appeal. We will continue. I go back to court in September. I hope to be, we'll have some sort of application in at Health Canada to comply with the Ontario Court of Appeal request that I do enter the program, at which point I suspect the Crown will withdraw, given that the charge has been going for 5 years. But those are some of the things that the Crown withdraws.
So, Matt, just to let you know, the chat for the last maybe 100, 200 lines, literally, is only talking about you are going to comply with the Ontario Court of Appeals mandate that makes you get a new card. And some people are calling that a sellout. And there's 2 or 3 people that are literally being negative about just that comment alone.
I think at some point, I think those are people who don't win in court.
So half the other people are all saying, come on, Matt, don't get the card. Tell them to go fuck themselves. Right. Don't follow that fucking mandate.
Well, I think
don't get it.
You can't go to court and say, hey, I'm going to challenge you for the next 5 years. But whatever you say, whether I lost at Justice Taliano or I left that Court of Appeal, at some point, and you have to show respect to the court.
Fuck that.
No, you have to show, at some point, you definitely have to show the court a level of respect and say, you know what, you respected me to hear my argument for 5 years. You've suggested this. I have no other options other than to say we have to respect what the court has said.
No. Your lawyer has to respect. He has an oath to the court. You don't have to do shit.
No, I have to respect the court's decision, Chris, and you know that. You've made that decision before from in jail on my birthday. I remember that, hiding you that. You're out of cards. People don't understand that. When you're out of cards, you're out of cards. You're bust. You have no chips on the table. You have nothing left in your hand. Nothing. There are no cards left in my hand to play, other than we'll take it to a full day sentencing hearing.
Yeah, and I'm pissed about that, I don't know.
If you have no cards left in your hand and you're playing poker, you got to walk away from the table. You got to say, you know what? I have to move on to different things in life. We've done a very good hand. And if I can walk away without a criminal record, I think that's a very good thing. We changed a lot. I mean, I don't know who put nurse practitioners in the MMPR. I'd like to say we did that. We'd like to say that, we can't say how this new program's going to work. I've said that long before the ruling came out, Chris. You know that. I said I can't testify to how this program's going to work until several years from now. There's no options. There's no cards left on the table. And unless you're in this position, you have no decision to say who or what I should do.
But one decision you don't have to make is following an injustice. And accepting an injustice.
I think the court already accepts that I have said to them on numerous. I'm the first person to walk into court and say I'm 100% guilty of this crime.
That's
not the first. I don't know how many people have ever stepped in and said, well, I'm guilty of this.
But it doesn't make sense. You're still growing, obviously, and then you're going to go get some sort of card for possession? It doesn't make sense to comply with some fucking ruling that's an injustice to begin with.
But then you're not respecting the court, Chris.
But you're not respecting them anyways. You're still fucking growing. How can you make both applications?
What are you talking about?
So fucking tear down your grow up then and apply for the fucking card. And start buying it through the mail. And don't buy it anywhere else. And comply with all their fucking rules.
I don't have to tear down my grow up. That grow up's not mine.
Oh, my God.
It's not mine, is it, Jack? It's not mine at all. It's my roommate, Jack Drax. I've been making videos of my roommates grow fur since I lost on the Ontario Court of Appeal. Yeah. Just in case we thought we were going to lose, I took a new roommate on named Jack Drax.
And listen, I'm obviously saying this out of I love and respect.
But these things, Chris, you're the guy who pled guilty in Hamilton.
Yeah, I pled guilty. I'm guilty of a lot of fucking things,
but
man.
I have run out of cards, and that's what you've never respected the court ever. You don't respect law. I respect enough to say, you know what?
No, I respect
I'm out of
law. I just don't respect fucking unjust laws. I will never accept
But you don't understand when you're out of cards, and that's the difference between me and you. I'm out of cards.
What do
Out
you
of
mean?
cards. There's no cards on the table.
Dude, I've been raided so many times. I've had to
You
fully
haven't been raided.
accept
You haven't
fucking-
gone through anything close to what we've done. You haven't built a case like this. Nobody's
no,
built a
obviously
case
I
like
haven't.
this.
I'm not saying
Nobody's found the resources to build a case like this. Nobody has come close to what we've done, and I suspect will not come close for another decade. And that's the issue. We are out of cards with the courts. Out of cards. The courts have said, you know what? This medical marijuana thing, do you think they're going to accept it again? They keep saying no. They said no to Parker. They said no to Hitzig. They said no to Mernagh. They keep saying no. At some point, you have to say to the court, well, you know, you sort of threw me that safety line. They're saying, you know, I'm the one of the guys who they asked on when I testified, I said I would do it again. I have no choice. And the court says, like, look, you have a choice. You have to go get the card. And we're going to tell the Crown, if you imprison him, it could be unconstitutional. And what we've told the Crown is we're looking for a day. Who here gets a day? How long was your sentencing hearing, Chris? How long?
Like a half day.
Yeah. We get a full day to introduce all the evidence to fight mandatory mins. It's my last thing I can do. Here you go. All the evidence for mandatory mins. Someone else take over. Some other lawyers, some other witnesses, some other defendants. You know, we've had a run. We
But
ran
honestly, even the
hard.
people, I'm watching this chat just light the fuck up. You have no idea. There's 40
Because
something.
none of them have fought in court before. They're a bunch of fucking pussies that hang out online.
They're all actually, out of one or two people, they're all and even those one or two people are actually saying it from the position of, we respect the fact that you fought for so fucking long in an almost grandiose movie scenario. Why fucking at the last fucking 10 minutes of the movie give in? It doesn't make fucking sense.
It's not giving in. It's following what the courts have said in Ontario.
If this was the Larry Flint movie, it would have went a way
Larry
different
Flint
way.
didn't get a chance to go to the Supreme Court of Canada, did he?
Yes, he did. That's
Yeah,
the basis
and
of
it's
his
a
movie.
big fucking difference, you pussy. You pled guilty, and the last time I talked to you about talking to the cops on 420, you're like, well, I don't want to go to jail.
What are you talking about? I was totally fine with...
No, you weren't. You can take over, Chris. Why don't you talk to the cops on 420? Every 420 you
been.
park the car, I'm surrounded by myself and a bunch of other people. I have done this for 10 goddamn fucking years in this movement.
I know you have.
Then I have had enough. And I am saying the Ontario Court of Appeal has said this. The Supreme Court of Canada has dismissed the case. Maybe people are unaware. But I would like to see someone dedicate the next 5 years of their life. I'd like to see them lose everything they own.
Yeah.
I'd like to see their pets be killed. I'd like to see them go through everything and then say, well, you know, now that your life is doing pretty good, you got a book out there, your rent's getting paid, you have a nice, you know, you're kind of doing all right, you've sort of doing okay. You can really help the marijuana movement by talking in Washington, in Colorado, and California. But no, we want you to go to jail now, Matt.
No one wants you to
We
go to
want
jail.
you to do 18 months.
Oh,
we want you to
God.
go down there and do 18 months in Niagara. None of us are going to write you a letter.
Most people see
We're all going to
different
forget about
outcomes,
you.
but
We're not going to buy your book. Right? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous to go down that route. I'm not putting myself up on a cross for people. And that's what people want. They want a martyr.
they don't want you to lose, man. They want you to win.
Right, but we're out of cards, Chris. That's what you don't realize. We just fucking lost, you retards. We lost. Brady's down here going, we fucking lost. The highest court in the land says, no, you're wrong. You fucking lost. You hired some of the best legal talents in the country, and they lost.
Maybe Matt Oliver could give a sports analogy of we're still at the third quarter. And
We're not at the third quarter, you dumbass. We just lost. I
No,
pled
you-
not guilty on a constitutional argument, and they just said the constitutional argument is wrong. Therefore, Mr. Mernagh, you are guilty of the crime that you testified to doing. Who testified? Who's ever sat
Well,
on the
what does that
witness
have to do
stand
with
and
getting
said,
a card
you know,
and-
I grow marijuana, I've done this, this, and this. And the Court of Appeal says, Mr. Mernagh, get your card. Okay. I have no other cards. What do you want me to do?
don't take that card. That card's the fucking devil.
You would take that card, Chris, 100% of the
I've
times.
never,
If it
ever,
came between
ever.
you and Christian and Emily,
Never.
and if they were taking your kids,
Never.
100%. You already done that,
No, I
Chris.
haven't.
You have.
No, I
So you're
haven't.
just being an asshole to me. You're not being a friend. You're being a fucking dickwad.
What are you talking
who
about?
should take it up the ass a bit more. You are. You're being a total dickwad. You're not being a friend to anybody in this room. You're being a dick. You're acting just like the marijuana activists. You know what? No marijuana activist saw me in the Don jail. No activist helped. My fucking friends helped. Chris Goodwin wasn't there. Michael Mage came out of the woodwork and said, hey, I've known him for 2 years. He can sleep on my couch. He doesn't own anything anymore. He put his family and his marriage at risk to put a guy on his couch. Where was the pot movement then? I can name 10 people on my hands that have helped me. And if I went to those 10 people, I'm looking at one, I'm looking at all the others in my life, and they will tell me, you go get that goddamn card. Oh, you think I need to listen to 40 fucking people and Chris goddamn Goodwin cheering them on, being a dick smack? No, I'm Matt Mernagh. I make every fucking decision I want to make, and if the Court of Appeal says do something, I respect the court enough to go do it. Clearly you don't. None of the people do, but I do. The court said do this or else. And I will have to say, you know what? I'm out of cards. I played every goddamn card there is. The Supreme Court of Canada doesn't want to hear medical marijuana, and you're all just upset about that. Where were you on day one? Day fucking one. Nowhere. None of you. Don't even say anything. You were nowhere. This was built by 22 witnesses who believed in me. This was built by a lawyer who believed in me. That's it. You know, friends and family believed in me. When we won, you know what? Compassion Clubs called. More people wanted to be witnesses. More people wanted to be witnesses at the Supreme Court of Canada because they back a winner. And today we lost. I am sorry about that. We worked very hard. But you know what? We lost. You know, why don't you just go riot in the streets like Vancouver fucking Canucks? Fuck yourself, Chris. Go fuck yourself. Fucking lost today, asshole. Fuck off. Look, you don't beat the shit out of me.
Oh, yeah, right, dude.
You're a dick. You haven't done shit with this. Fuck yourself.
Well, that was a nice way to end it. He's screaming he's disappointed in me for some reason.
That's our best mic. Number one. We just use the best mic. I know it's an upsetting day for Mernagh, so I can understand how upset he is and stuff, but if you go back and listen, Chris was saying he loves and cares about Mernagh, and he was never doing it from an angry place, so I know the mic's okay, it just gets dented and eventually it's just